I don't know about you, but I don't let shorter daylight hours or cold temperatures keep me from running. Not only do I still want to get outside, in some ways, those miles take on even greater importance to offset the inevitable cabin fever of winter. With a few tweaks to what you're wearing or what gear you're using, there's no reason you can't still get your miles in. Here are some of my recommendations. We should probably start with shoes. Opinions vary when it comes to waterproof shoes, and I can be torn. There's an argument to be made for sticking with breathable, quick-drying shoes even in wet conditions, especially if your feet tend to run warm enough to compensate for short periods of dampness. But if you know you're going to constantly be running in slush and snow, consider investing in a pair of more protective shoes, like these Ultra Lone Peak All-Weather Low 2s, which incorporate a truly waterproof bootie. Keep in mind, though, that even with this feature, a low-cut shoe can't keep moisture from getting into the shoe from over the cuff. There's where leg gaiters, like the Outdoor Research Feroce Hybrid Gaiters, come to the rescue. They'll also help keep out dirt and debris, making them suitable for year-round use. Traction also becomes increasingly important during icy and snowy months of the year. Being able to pull on Catula microspikes in really challenging conditions can be the difference between staying upright and not being able to even consider taking on technical trails. The detuned lower profile nanospikes are better suited for iced over roads and sidewalks, which I often turn to in winter to get in miles when trails are simply inaccessible or there's not enough time on the clock to get to them. Admittedly, I'll wear running shorts year round, but I also have an internal thermostat that tends to run pretty hot. On really frigid days, I will throw on tights or another base layer bottom to better regulate temperature. These Smartwool Intraknit Thermal Merino base layer bottoms are top-notch for adding warmth and support while still offering breathability and drying quickly so you stay comfortable. They aren't inexpensive, but they're worth every penny. That said, running tights and bottoms are available in varying weights and in a wide range of prices, so you can choose what works best for you. Bonus tip for guys, Terramar's Pro Jersey Wind Boxer Briefs, which have an upfront windproof panel that does a fantastic job of delivering specific and strategic coverage. Trust me, these are great. Having a jacket that adds some weather resistance and just enough but not too much warmth is also essential for venturing out in the cold. I'm a big fan of the Marmot Alt HB hoodie, which has a wind-resistant exterior and a moisture-wicking fleece interior. Bonus points for thumb holes too. Sometimes that bit of extra coverage at the wrists, the bottom of the hands, is all I need, but it also eliminates any gapping between the ends of sleeves and the cuffs of gloves. Jackets, like tights and bottoms, come in a variety of weights and configurations, so consider what you value most in terms of warmth, wind protection, and weight when choosing what's best for your running needs. Which brings us to gloves. Keeping your hands warm, especially at the start or end of a run, can be key to staying comfortable. My hands do heat up pretty quickly once I'm on the go, so I usually employ gloves or mittens that are lightweight and compact enough for me to stuff in a pocket once I don't need them anymore. These Black Diamond mid-weight soft shell mitts are a good example. Or you could go with something like the Hybrid Ultimate Direction Ultra Flip Glove, which lets you unfurl a protective waterproof shell when you need it, or tuck it away in dry conditions. Both of these options can be tossed in your running vest just in case, without taking up excess space or adding unnecessary weight. I like running with an outer layer that has a hood, but still sometimes need a bit more warmth or coverage. A lightweight hat, like the Outdoor Research Alpine Onset Merino Beanie, is a great addition to your winter running kit. Balaclavas or neck gaiters can come in handy too, especially if you expect variable conditions, but having a head covering of some sort is essential. If your feet are prone to getting cold, consider increasing the weight of the sock that you pull on for your run. The Smartwool Cold Weather Targeted Cushion Crew Sock does a fantastic job of balancing weight, warmth, and performance. Look for a sock that's just not so bulky or restrictive, but definitely does a better job of insulating than the average running sock. What about those shorter days I mentioned all the way back at the beginning? It's pretty tough to navigate before sunrise or after sunset without some reliable lighting, and in winter, that's often when I find myself running. There are certainly inexpensive lighting options out there, but I don't like to skimp when illumination is important to finding and following trails at night. The rechargeable Petzl Swift RL is one of my absolute favorites, and I even picked up an additional rechargeable battery that lets me rely on this light for long ultra races without any concern about running out of battery life along the way. Another interesting option is the UltraSpire Lumen 200 2.0 waist light, which can serve as your standalone lighting source or as a secondary light to help you more easily see where your next stride should land. I could go on and on, but I do want to throw out a few more items that may not be true essentials or needed by every runner, but are things that I've turned to for cold weather running. If you know that you're going to be out for hours on end, an insulated hydration system, like the HydroPack Velocity IT 1.5 liter reservoir, can be the difference between actually having drinking water or carrying a block of undrinkable ice. Not everyone runs with poles, but if you do, it can be worthwhile in winter to have poles that have broader baskets to keep from sinking too deeply into snow, and that have other year-friendly features too, like these Lakey Sherpa FX1 carbon poles. And don't forget post-run. I can often feel just fine during my run, and then quickly find myself shivering and uncomfortable as soon as I'm done moving. That's why I love having some creature comforts like Exped down socks and the Thermarest Honcho Poncho waiting to slip into right away to keep that chill from settling in. This is by no means an exhaustive list, and every runner's going to have a different opinion on what shoes, jackets, lights, you name it, are best for them. Sharing your favorites are part of the fun, so let us know what you think. Be sure to check out Enwild.com to find these items I mentioned and tons of other awesome gear from all your favorite brands. Our hiking, running, and roaming gear specialists are always happy to answer any questions or talk gear. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the trail.